What is the worst show you've ever had?
Oh man, where to start? Where to?
I know we all have lists. Like,
yeah, you might as well start part 2 of this. Might as well be another episode.
Yeah.
Starting right now.
I think we're gonna do that. I think we're gonna get like a group of comics, and we're just gonna talk about awful shows we've all had.
Yeah. Well, the okay. Well, there's one. Honestly, there's too many. I did one where I was traveling up to. I'm trying to like find ways to not use names and stuff like that in case the person's who booked the show is watching. But
you did a show.
I did a show. I was on the way up to Fresno to do a show. And this was a regular, I don't know, probably Friday, 8 p.m. show, normal time, normal show, all that kind of stuff. This is not about that show. That show was good. But I'm driving up with another comic, and he was going to feature for me. I was headlining, and I get this call about halfway up there from this booker I knew, and he was like, "Hey, is there any way you could do this show in this? You're not even going to know it if I said it, but I don't want to say it to give away show. But it's a random farm town in the middle of probably a population of 2,000 people, 1,000 people in the middle of nowhere, on the way to Fresno." And I was like, when? And he's like, in about an hour. And I was like, does it pay? And he said, yeah. And I was like, man, you are like the luckiest guy in the world, because I happen to be on the way to Fresno. And that is about an hour away, right on the way. I was like, that's basically a lunch break we were going to go get lunch around that area. This is like perfect. Yeah, I can do the show. I was like, but I have another comic with me. And he's like, okay, all right, well, I might have to figure out like the pay situation, but like, yeah, that's fine. They could do a set too. And I was like, okay. I was like, what is this show that's happening in the middle of the day? And he's like, it's a car lot grand reopening, which should tell you all that you need to know, really. But I was like, okay, never done one of those. Am I just doing a normal set? And he's like, yeah, just do your stuff. And I'm like, okay. All right. He's like, yeah, you're just doing like 15 minutes, which could be good or bad. That could be not very much time at all, or that could be way too much time if it's a bad show. And it's going to lead towards that. So we get there, and it's this car lot, and there's signs like grand reopening, which I still to this day don't even know what that means. But there's signs everywhere. There's a diesel truck with a flatbed on it that's parked in the middle of the car lot. And there's like 5 or 6 car dealers, like in their like button-up shirt. It's probably 110 degrees that day. Not exaggerating. It was the middle of the summer in the Central Valley. It gets very, very hot. We are outdoors. This flatbed diesel truck had a mic stand on it. And I'm pulling up, and I'm like, oh my God, is that where we're performing on the back of this truck? And I see the booker, and he's like, hey, I was like, hey, sorry. I was going to say, sorry, I'm cutting it close on time, but did you guys start? There's like nobody here. There's nobody on the stage. He's like, yeah, we're starting right now. And I was like, oh, okay, where's it at? And he's like, yeah, it's on the truck. And I'm like, okay, all right. And I get up there, and you're going to think I'm exaggerating. I'm not. I had to hop up on the back of the diesel truck, and I'm performing. I'm sweating so hard. It's so hot out. And the closest people to me are about 70 yards away near the shade of the actual like dealership had like a little patio in front of it. That's where people are. And they're listening. And I'm like, and I see them talking. This is how far away they were. I could see them talking, and I could not hear them talking. And so I was like, hey, you guys listening? And then I just see a couple like thumbs up, and I'm like, okay. So So I guess I'll go, and I'm just doing jokes, looking at an idiot, and it was like, oh my god, one of the worst. And there's flies are attacking me. Like I'll never forget the amount of flies that were out there. And yeah, me and my buddy both went up, and then I was like, oh my god, I gotta go now. And so I tell the booker, I'm like, hey man, I gotta get to Fresno. Like I gotta go. And he's like, all right, here's your pay. And he hands me in the other comic an envelope, and I'm like, cool, thanks, man. And then I hop in the car, and then we leave, and we open the envelope, and I'll never forget this. There was $12.50 in there. One of the weirdest amounts I've ever been paid for a show in my life. 2 quarters. Both. And I was like, why did you not round up? Just give me $10 at that point.
Right.
$12.50 is what and I was like, this is the best symbol ever. The amount I got paid for what that show was. It was absolutely terrible. I wish you could see how far away this small group of people were. And how just who had this idea to do stand-up comedy on the bed? It's just awful.